just interacting.
So a few thoughts, what you said, or a couple. So when you mentioned that just expressing that consideration thing, again, it's not gonna be an overnight succession of them applying it, but at least if they're able to receive it, that does half the job, whatever. And that's what I learned with myself, where once I start communicating things in real time, because again, the partner I'm with, like, she ain't some fucking asshole, combative ass, fucking crazy ass person, whatever. But
You're what?
Huh?
You're what?
I see my partner. That ain't good enough.
I want your
my
what?
wife.
There we go.
That's my wife.
The partner I'm with is crazy.
My partner?
No. You said the
in
partner
life.
Say my wife.
Person I'm building life with. I created life with.
My wife.
At all times.
At all times.
That's fair.
She earned it.
You're right. She did.
Yeah.
No smut.
Yeah.
But so my wife, like she's wired in that way. Like she's receptive for the most part, whatever. So again, she ain't able to do shit immediately a lot of times, whatever.
She'll hear you out.
She'll hear you out. And that's, I think, when you with someone and you got rapport with them, respect or love, half the time, or even a history, half the time, just them receiving it and not dismissing it, shutting it down, just being combative. That, all right, cool.
Just want to be understood.
Exactly, understood. Yeah. And me and Ricky was talking about something with his situation he got going on, whatever. And he's like, yeah, the fact that we wasn't maybe aligned, soon I expressed it, she's like, oh no, I see what you're saying. And that kind of put away all his anxiety 100%. And thoughts about it, whatever, and reservations, thinking, but what if she ain't receptive to it? Like, no, all right, we good.
Yeah, you'll be surprised
really
how many conversations can end well with a simple, I see where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Literally. Mm-hmm. Like, instead of trying to be received, just be receptive. And I always say, everybody want to be understood, but nobody want to be understanding. Everybody want to talk, but nobody want to listen. And it's like, when we say communication is the key, but understanding is the door. You could communicate all day and tomorrow. If somebody don't understand where you're coming from, then that key was not effective. And I think that we got to be more receptive to being a door that's unlockable.
Mm.
Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, and the only way that key can be effective is if you try to see the angle that the key is coming from. So when we start talking about effective communication, if it don't land, it's not effective. Mm-hmm. Just because you are verbal and vocal and willing to present something, that don't mean you can just be confrontational. And somebody that's not trying to talk could just be non-confrontational. But that don't mean you're a better communicator than that person. The communication is when it's effective, when it lands on, I see where you're coming from. Even if I don't agree where you're coming from, I see where you're coming from. Agreement doesn't, just because you can acknowledge somebody's perspective don't mean you agree with it, don't mean that you're going to change the way you see it. It just means you let them know that I can understand that you see a 6 while I'll see a 9. We don't got to reverse it, but just knowing that it's two different perspectives here, it allows for us to respect each other's perspective.
Right. I was about to say it. I acknowledge it. And oftentimes I respect it too.
Yeah.
And that, all right, thank you.
Yeah.
We can move on now.
Exactly. And like, as adults, man, that's where we just got to elevate our level of communication. Like, it's not about being right or wrong. It's just literally about being understanding and feeling understood. Because if you go into any debate and at the end of it, both parties could see where the other one was coming from, even if nothing changes, I'm telling you, it'd be no hostility. But some people got that thing within their ego where they just gotta win the conversation. Yeah. And it's like, you gotta eliminate that, because that can't thrive. That can't help you thrive, or it can't survive in a relationship.
And I can admit, so first, before I say that point, I still got another thing. Shout out to us, shout out to people watch. I feel that's one thing we always hung our hats on in our conversation, our brain here, where oftentimes we see things differently,
100%.
disagree, whatever. But from the very beginning, it's never been like a, we have to belabor the point.
Never not once.
But nigga, that's what I'm saying. No, all right, go ahead, where you coming from?
Yeah.
Let's move on. Like, and it's kind of, I feel that's like part of our like hidden sauce of our flow and our chemistry, where it's like, that's how these conversations can progress and the topics can flow, whatever. Because nothing has to be just driven into the ground of like, no, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't really get, like, no, I would see it differently.
Yeah.
And that's cool. Right. Like,
and it come down a lot to like our upbringings and our experiences, and that's what makes it okay. Like, as long as a person not denouncing your views, it's like, I just feel like you could like apples, you could like oranges. It don't gotta be, nah, but this is why you shit like apples. And this is why you shitting like oranges. It's like, nah, just eat the fruit you like.
Right.
Like, the fuck.
Right.